Hey everybody, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley, and this is Collective Coffee. This is something that I've been wanting to do for years, but I have not had the space to do it. So Collective Coffee is just going to be where we drink our coffee and talk about what's going on in our country, and ways that we can combat it. So, good morning. I'm here in my good morning fashion. Things are really getting scary. And we're gonna talk about genocide this Friday on Freedom Friday. Today's Wednesday. So I just wanted to get on here and talk about some of the things that we're seeing. I get a lot of my information from TikTok. I really value people's individual experiences. There's a reason the government wants to ban TikTok, and I use that for how I get my info, which is why they want to ban it. Anyway, what we're seeing in Florida, especially, is going to be happening at a larger scale. There's these organizations, one of which in particular is called ALEC, the American Legislative Executive Committee. And if you follow Coyote Annie on TikTok, you know this. She's been doing really, really intense research into these Republican and Christian groups that really form our government. So, like, ALEC is a bipartisan thing. It's like a convention with corporations, and corporations present these laws. So the corporations are like writing most legislation. A lot of the politicians are not writing the legislation, the corporations are, and then the lobbying groups are, buying these politicians. But anyway, the reason I want to talk about ALEC is because they use certain states as like test run states to see how folks are going to respond, right? And we are seeing a lot happening in Florida. So Florida is a test state for a lot of these things, but we're also seeing the ripple effects start to happen in other states, especially in the South, around abortion. Well, and then like in that space up in the North, the Northwest, not the Pacific Northwest, the couple states over. Anyway, so the way and the intensity that these things are happening, I think that with the urgency that the other side is taking and passing these things at these alarming rates, is scary. I think that with DeSantis, that's the governor of Florida, making his official campaign announcement for 2024, that's pretty terrifying, especially everything that's going on with Trump. And then like the Democrats have all these different candidates, a lot of like normal people, right, trying to run. So I think that things are going to get worse. And I don't want to scare anybody, but I think that it's important to talk about the truth. There's a huge migration taking place in Florida right now, from Florida. Folks are fleeing and finding refuge all over the country, and that's not the only state. Folks, Coyote Annie, who I mentioned before, I'm going to put her handles here because she's fabulous. She does so much, but she's personally also fleeing Oklahoma because of the laws that are being placed and everything. Are you drinking your coffee? You need to be drinking your coffee. These are heavy topics. Nova! And Nova right here. He's all up in my shit. Anyway, so I think that what we really need to be doing, and I myself included, is building community. And I've set myself to try and do this, right? And that's not something that everybody has. I understand that. That's not what I'm saying, is like go do this the exact same way I did. No. I'm just saying that we're gonna have to start getting creative about the way that we're living. Things are going to change rapidly, and I don't know who my audience is on here, but if you are someone who has not been targeted by systemic oppression or state violence in the past of your whole life or whatever, I want you to know that that doesn't mean that you're safe from what's coming. And a lot of people are starting to understand, like with these abortion bills, even the folks that voted for them are understanding that they now, you know, are in the line of fire for them, I guess. I don't know how else to say it. I think that I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I see everything together, but I wanted folks to know, and that's why, because like Alec, especially, it's Democrats and Republicans and corporations. And I don't know if I ever finished that. I'm sorry. Remember, it's collective coffee. We're going to be all over the place. I always am anyway. But like Alec is proposing this legislation, and then at these conventions, certain states sign on whether or not they're going to be like the test states, right? And then those states will run things, see how people are reacting. So with Florida, people are migrating. I've seen conversations on TikTok about if this is a tactic to like turn the states red so that they can secede from the states like as a whole. I don't remember the exact numbers, but if these folks, like these like, fascists, violent Christian fundamentalist Nazis, if they get like whole red states, I don't remember how many states it is, but they can secede and pull away and create their own shit, or we're gonna see a heavier civil war. I personally believe we're already in civil war. That's pretty obvious to me. It just looks different because of modern technology. But like the United States is not a safe place to be. There's lots of people fleeing from the United States in general too. I'm seeing folks that are leaving the United States, living somewhere else. And I also want to say that a lot of folks don't have that privilege. A lot of people. In fact, the folks that I've seen that are migrating from Florida right now are struggling just leaving the state. So, you know, if you have the privilege to leave the country, maybe you should use your privilege in the country to help support other folks. I don't know. I don't know who my audience is on here. But that's my plan. I'm here in this place in the country to utilize my privilege to support the efforts for human rights around me. And there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of work that I have ideas about, but I don't have the community because we've only been here a couple months. So we're working on that. But if you have community, if you have privilege, I would love to suggest mutual aid. You know, like this is a call to action. You don't have to be a person that's in a certain type of oppressed group or to do something about it. And I think that's really what I want to get across is the other side, the powers that be, these corporations, these politicians, these fascists. I mean, like what we're seeing is scary, and I don't know why people got butthurt about people like comparing the United States. I think maybe it was when it was during COVID. But I remember people were comparing the United States to Nazi Germany, and Nazi Germany is not the only genocide that's happened in this world. There's been genocide since Nazi Germany, like Rwanda. Anyway, people got like butthurt about people making these comparisons, and saying like, no, that's so disrespectful. But like, every survivor I've ever seen, every survivor's book I've ever read from Nazi Germany, their main concern is watch and see it before it happens. And they've been telling this since they survived. So I think it's disrespectful to... They've always said this. Like, every survivor that I've seen of Nazi Germany has always said, these were the signs, know the signs, these are the signs. And you even have folks, I mean, I don't know if y'all are on TikTok, but I'm on TikTok, and there's folks who are survivors talking about this, or people who have, like, why are we getting, and that's like the neoliberal bullshit in the United States is just like, ugh, God, I don't know. This is way more than a collective coffee. I don't know. Is this too much for your coffee? Maybe drink it with your afternoon, or watch it with your afternoon coffee. Anyway, we're going to talk about genocide on Friday. I'll put some shit together because this collective coffee is all over the place. But ultimately, I don't have the answers. I think that building community, and I think that supporting folks with their refuge or fleeing, which is what I'm doing with my land, but I can't get to my land right now. So I'm like in this place of like feeling like I can't do anything, and like I have this privilege, right? So I'm working on that. And I'm not just getting on here to yell at everybody. I'm telling you, like, I really have high hopes of turning my land into refuge. And I've already made connections with a few folks, like, talking about that. Like, but anyway. So, my thing is, things are going to get worse before they get better. In addition to all of that, we've seen, I don't know if you've seen these train derailments. I've seen both 30,000 and 60,000, both of those numbers, amount of that missing chemical, like that was on a train and all of a sudden disappeared 2 weeks ago on its way to California. I don't know if it's 30,000 or 60,000. I've seen both. I feel like the media trailed it back to 30,000 because I saw 60,000 initially, and then so I feel like the media is trying to like sweep it under the rug. Like, that's what they do. Everything is bought off by lobbyists, and we're going to talk about symbology too, but everything you see, every media you watch, unless it's like media by the people, right? Like, every media that you see that's produced is serving the narrative of these folks in control. And so that's how they get people to become complacent, is because, yeah, they feed on your emotions, and we'll talk about the emotional stuff too. Wow, this is just a big brainstorm for Freedom Fridays. I don't know how often I want to do collective coffee, but I really just feel compelled to talk about this because, I mean, people are still just going about their days, because that's how the system is designed, right? It's not an individual flaw. The system is designed to keep you busy and distracted so you don't, buck up arms against them. But that's what I want to talk about, is that we need to pay attention. We need to be doing things before it's too late. And it already is too late for a lot of people. So if you have privilege of any kind, it's time to use that. And we can talk about what that can look like. It can look like a lot of things. If you're a white person, you could infiltrate a Klan meeting. I always wanted to do that, but I don't think I can. I don't think I'd get away with it. So, I mean, if you're like, can you please do that? Can someone please do that safely? But, like, we can do shit like that, using your privilege in those ways, getting into spaces that other folks can't get into, using your body, putting your body on the line, in protests and other things. I mean, it's really time. Like, I dream of protests at a mass level. These are my dreams. Like uprising. But I don't know if that's possible for America. And that's because the system is designed that way, to keep like we talked about in Freedom Friday, in the hierarchy of the oppressed, right? Explaining like, they keep us all at arms with each other so they can continue to run this program around us doing this. It's just, it's time that we, like, say you're obsolete and, like, build the world that we want. And that sounds really simple, and it's definitely not, but I think that's a good place to start. So I'm gonna drink the rest of my coffee. I know this was pretty rambly, but that's what I wanted it to be like. It's collective coffee. Like, if we were at a coffee shop, I would talk to you about this. But yeah, I think that we are going to be seeing things getting a lot worse. So do what you need to do to get your family secure, make arrangements if you feel like you're going to be needing to leave. If you need a place to go, email me. I have land. We can figure it out. I mean, yeah, let me know. I'm down. If you need anything, put that in the comments. I can help facilitate donations or whatever. But if you're a person of privilege, please start doing this in your community, or, in some way. If you can follow someone on social media who belongs to a, oppressed group, then maybe support them. That's a good place to start. Send them some Cash App, some Venmo. And I'm talking about Black and brown folks. I'm talking about the LGBTQ folks. I'm talking about folks who are having to leave situations or states or lives because of these things that are happening. It's very easy. You can use hashtags. So if you want, that would be a cool way that we could start organizing. If you have land yourself, maybe think about if you would be open to utilizing that in a way to, offer refuge or support or, campsite to others. And I'm seeing a lot of I'm in those communities. There's lots of folks that are doing this, that are getting on TikTok and saying, I have this land. I did this in November. We're not on the land now, but I'm still open to having folks around if they need it, and we're in town, so it'd be cool. Like, they could be on the land and then, like, come into town for things that they need. Like, we don't have water on the land yet, so all of that. Or if they have kids, they could play in the yard. The yard's dope. If you could support your community in any way, I'm going to highly suggest it. Or just even educating yourself about what's happening, because I would say start bracing for it. And it's not just red states. I would say all the states, because remember, the corporations are lobbying and paying these politicians to put these laws into place for more power, more money, more gains, right? And so I would say that eventually we're going to see some gnarly shit happening in all our states. We already are. The past couple years has been pretty crazy. So that's the collective coffee. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to post this. I feel like I should. But we can do this often. Just talking. I just want to talk about what's going on and, ways that we can do something about it. I don't know. I don't know what, I made a video a couple years ago, like, what's it going to take? Like, I don't know what it's going to take for folks to, personal involvement and emotional. That's what it's going to take. And that I don't know, because of the way that the privilege works in this country, if we're ever going to see that. I know that the masses, but we're all over. Anyway, I don't know. How are you organizing for this? Let me know. Have a good one.